What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Listen, last night I was at an event and I got to speak to one of my brothers, and I got to speak to him about union stuff. And I explained to him the current situation that we're in, where we waited so long, and then we got a proposed tentative agreement with things that didn't align with what was almost promised that were being bargained. For example, Renfro said that he was going to get rid of CCAs, he's going to get us into a one-table system, and he was going to fight for a historic wage increase, right? Just to for sakes of this conversation. So I'm speaking to the guy, and he's like, you know what? This reminds me of 35 years ago when I was a member of the International Machinists Union. And he said, it's the same business, when these presidents and these union officials are politicking you or trying to lobby you, they sell you a dream. They say, we're fighting for this, we're fighting for that, we're fighting for this, right? And then after all the time elapses, they get a tentative agreement. Then they come back to you. They said, well, this isn't exactly what we asked for. There was a lot of things we couldn't agree on, but vote no, okay? We're going to go back to the table. We want this, we want that, we want this, right? Then some more time elapses, and then they say, you know what, guys, this still isn't exactly what we wanted. But unfortunately, we think this is the best we could do. So the union is going to recommend that we vote yes on this, right? And then he says what happens is, you're fed these lies, and ultimately, the membership gets sold out. And in his extreme example, he shared an experience where he went down to the branch meeting hall and, he voiced his opinion against the president. And the president, there was about 300 members at that meeting. He was telling me, and the president basically was escorted out because of the fear that the president was going to get injured. Then he said that president didn't come around when it came time for campaigning for the next election. But he also said something quite interesting. He said when that tentative agreement came out, the meetings were held in one town, but in order to vote, you had to travel 45 minutes to another town. And he said these are the kind of union busting tactics that they use, right? He says the problem is most people won't do what's required to fulfill that vote. So then the people that do vote pass it, right? Because all it takes is a majority to pass the contract, at least in his situation. I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to work with our situation too. So, he offered me an advice. He said, when is the perfect time to plant a tree? Okay. And of course I know the answer to that. It was 20 years ago. And then he says, when's the next perfect time to plant a tree? And I know the answer. The answer is now, right? But if you let that sit for just 1 minute and you change some of the words, when was the best time to change this union? Okay. Probably 20 years ago. Okay. And when's the next best time? It's going to be now. It's going to be today. Right? So how do we do it? How do we change the union? All right, guys. Number one, it's all about solidarity. Okay? It's all about solidarity. If the membership cannot stick together and put their differences aside, I'm sorry to say we don't have any power. Okay? All of this nonsense about division and table 1 carriers, table 2 carriers, I get it. But right now we need to put that aside, right? If we want to fight for that one table pay system that reflects table 1, we have to stick together as a unified force. If we want to get rid of CCAs, we got to have the CCAs on our side. We have to encourage CCAs. We have to let them know what this job is going to offer them after they convert. If we want to get towards a higher starting pay and we want to jump up some steps, well, then we got to come collectively and we have to voice our opinion, our voices as one, and that happens at the branch level. Okay, I think all of our branches have to recommend a vote. How that happens is basically how you guys speak up at your meetings and what motions pass. Ultimately, everyone is entitled to vote how they want to vote, what they feel is right for their situation. However, I created a poll on my YouTube page, and it hit about 300 views, and 97% of the people that participated are going to vote no. Okay, so what does that show me? That shows me that a strong vote no campaign is actually bringing a lot of solidarity to this union. You have CLC, you have Tyler Vassar, you have Mike Cariff. They're all supporting a vote no campaign. Vote how you want. Just remember to vote educated. Read what is happening in the tentative agreement before you submit the ballot. But the most important thing is to vote. Okay, we don't care how you vote, but you gotta vote. And then what you gotta do is make sure you fill out the ballot the way it says. Read it twice or 3 times before you submit the ballot, and make sure you put a stamp on it. Okay, we want to do everything in our power to not delay your ballot from getting to headquarters. And then what happens at headquarters, guys, we need to get someone there watching them count these ballots. We have to. I know David Noble spoke up about the election where Renfro was elected president and how the system was flawed. I believe he has a case with Department of Labor, and if that goes forward, they're going to try to get the Department of Labor involved and try to see what actually happened in our national election when Renfro became president. That's neither here or there. Guys, it's important that you vote. Okay, vote how you feel. Vote what supports you and your family. But get out there. It's not really get out there. When you get that ballot, make sure you do everything in your power to send it back. All right, guys, remember, we are powerful when we join together, but when we're separated, we're weak. All right, guys, until next time, I'll be here. You'll be there. Peace.